People do ghoulish things every day, and rarely do they meet any level of justice. I've got a double header for you here, two topics. One, a youth decided that they wanted to, they felt disrespected. Okay, so you know where this is going. And some elderly man that was just there to provide safety for concert goers was on the receiving end of him feeling disrespected. Another man, took out a single mom who was riding her bicycle and drove miles with her still in the windshield of his car. This stuff is just so heartbreaking and crazy. I just want to get right into it. Again, thank you everyone for subscribing to this channel. It's my second channel. It's my more personal channel. It's a little more spicy. Please subscribe. And if you haven't yet, please join the members Discord so you can talk directly to me. I'm in there all the time. You can message me directly. We have all sorts of fun stuff going on at thequartering.com/join. It's the number one way you can support the channel, and it's the number one way you can be a part of the community. Child pummel stadium worker, black and blue, in crime-ridden Kansas City after simply being asked to move to the correct seat at a rap concert. A terrified stadium employee was savagely attacked by a violent boy after asking the youngster simply to move to the correct seat at a rap concert. Shocking footage of Sunday's. I'm not going to play the video. It's horrible. It's this elderly man simply asked this kid to move. Of course, he then turned and unloaded up and rained blows down on top of this defenseless old man who had fallen on the ground. Again, his crime, asking him to move to the correct seat. As the unnamed boy who is under 16 nears his victim with fists clenched, the man attempts to grab a hold of his shirt, seemingly trying to put distance between him and the two of them. The boy then starts throwing wild punches as the crowd around them erupts into screams. Other members of the audience can be seen trying to intervene by pulling the youngster off the man but this cannot work. You cannot pull him off because he has been disrespected. We know the penalty of disrespecting a black man between the ages of 16 and 40 is death. That is the penalty. That is what the liberal judges, that is what the liberal media, that is what Democrat judges have said that everyone else in society has to live by. Those are the rules we have to live by. If a black man between 16 and 40 feels disrespected, they are allowed to take your life. That's just the way it is. And people will make excuses for them, and people will say that they were misunderstood and that they were having a mental health crisis, and that 400 years ago, their grandfather's grandfather was a slave, and thus they couldn't control their behavior, or the prison industrial complex, or whatever fancy words they want to use. They will defend that person taking your life, or trying to. Eventually, the boy is dragged off of him as a stadium employee laid on the ground, having lost his glasses in the melee. While being taken away, the boy attacked another security guard. Despite the appalling violence, the boy was, of course, released shortly after into the custody of the parents. No charges filed. Again, 16-year-old, you're a man. This is a man. This is not a boy who made a mistake. Sorry, my dog looked really cute right now. I had to take his picture. Sorry. According to McDaniel and other concert goers, had pointed the teen out to a worker and as he was in the wrong area. He said he beat him up because his ticket was in another section. He broke his nose. I'm trying to get these kids help. They are not children. Not saying they're innocent. They have no logic or common sense. Kansas City police said approximately at 21:30 hours, officers working at off-duty T-Mobile Arena in a full department-approved uniform when called to Section 107-108 on a reported disturbance. It was determined that the attack had occurred and a male juvenile suspect was detained, but then, of course, released. Both victims received treatment in an area hospital and sustained non-life-threatening injuries. Thank God people pulled him off him because he would have taken their life. A spokesperson added that the detectives are actively working with prosecutors to consider charging the teen, which of course they won't. In a statement, the spokesman for the arena described the attack as horrific, while adding that the employee was working as a part of a venue's guest services team, a white security guard, by the way. I'm sure that had nothing to do with the way he reacted and attacked him. They said, of course, it was an isolated incident, and it doesn't reflect our venue, making excuses, of course. The spokesperson added that the employee's injuries are serious but non-life-threatening. NBA Youngboy, real name don't really care, has had his own run-in with the law. I don't really care. Again, just some elderly white guy gets pummeled by this. I mean, this kid. I'm not going to show it. I thought about it, but I'm not going to show it. And they just let him go, no charges, at least currently. Because the way our justice system works is there has to be a public hullabaloo, a public outcry before they'll do their job. Raja Jackson's a perfect example. How long were they going to let him out to maybe take another life? Or try, this time be successful in taking someone's life. This one, a single mom taken out by an alleged drunk driver who drove with her body in the windshield before finally getting arrested while being at the liquor store. Didn't even drop. Here's a nice white lady, her kid, run over. Now, I'm not going to pretend that drunk driving doesn't affect all sorts of people. This is a little different than the I feel disrespected, so I'm going to take your life thing. An alleged drunk driver ran down a single mother on an e-bike in Florida and drove for blocks with her stuck in his windshield before finally being arrested at a liquor store. Did a cop see this woman hanging out of his windshield and say yo, what's going on with that? Did a police officer say hey, what's up with that? There's a body hanging out of this dude's windshield. Rigby allegedly slammed into the rear of her bike with so much force that it sent her flying into the windshield of his Altima. Police said he continued to drive for 8 blocks with string hanging out of the windshield before her body was, quote, dislodged from the vehicle. Probably kicked it out, pushed it out or whatever. Of course, the suspect fled the scene, never called 911 or waited for first responders. She didn't survive. St. Petersburg police officers caught Rigby a short while later, a while at the liquor store about a mile away from where the crash happened, showing signs of impairment. Police say they smelled booze on his breath, his eyes were bloodshot, and he was slurring his words. After refusing to take a field sobriety test, he was immediately arrested. But this woman's now dead, and that kid will never have his mother. During his first court appearance, which happened just yesterday, the judge wasted no time in blasting Rigby's criminal past and his part in the deadly crash. Here you are with a prior leaving the scene of a crash, which happened just 2 years ago, so another career criminal. Then in 2024, last year, the state was generous enough to reduce your DUI to a reckless driving charge for purpose of bond. It's a DUI. Rigby's record includes speeding more than 30 miles an hour over the limit. He also had a prior DUI that required DUI school and a MAD victim impact panel. Additional charges, driving on the wrong side of the road of a divided highway, and open container charge. So again, a career criminal continued to get passes, excuses, whatever you want to call it. Different, whatever the reason is, different excuses to not serve any time, to not have any consequences. Now, another white person is dead. You might be saying, Jeremy, well, white people drive drunk all the time. Yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem in my state too, in Wisconsin. I wish there were stricter penalties about it. Here we go now. We've gone and done a second DUI, but this time with extremely aggravating facts, the judge said, where you've killed somebody, left the scene, and dragged their body. And I don't even need to go further on how aggravating these set of facts are, the judge said. His bond was set at $750,000, but they gave him no bond for his vehicular charge, since she's considered him a danger to the community. Good. A judge finally puts a hammer down. I'm finding that you're a danger in the community, and there's nothing else I can do to secure your decision-making and putting your life and everyone else's life on the road at risk. You're going to remain at no bond in the vehicular charge and leaving the scene of a crash involving a death. Strang was a single parent of a young son, according to a GoFundMe. I'm sick of these GoFundMes. How am I can't keep funding these people who I want to fix the problem. Look at this kid. How old was this kid? 4 or 5? He's dead, or she's dead now. No father, because she was riding her bike on the wrong side of the road at the wrong time. Some guy ran her over and left her there to die. You know, maybe she would have survived. Maybe she would have survived if he had called for, life-saving, called the ambulance. Maybe not. I don't know how fast he was going when he hit her, but I imagine you have to be going pretty fast for someone to go straight through your windshield and be lodged in there for blocks before you just finally shake them off your car because you got to get to the liquor store. Again, another career criminal with several arrests let out until finally in such a point where they finally just take somebody's life. I'm getting so sick of this crap. I'm so fatigued. These people need to be kept in prison. Stop letting them out because your prisons are too full. Build a new prison. Anybody with this guy's rap sheet, regardless of skin color, should be locked up for a very long time because they've proven that they cannot follow the rules. But, until change happens, I'll keep reporting on it. Hopefully more people will get sick and tired of it too. I hope you're informed by this video. I hope that you'll subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.